Good morning and welcome back to Cityline. With me, I have two fabulous individuals who are here to talk about WorkForce Central. And if you don't know what WorkForce Central is, well, hang on to your hats if you're wearing one, because it is everywhere in Tacoma, and we are so fortunate to have an organization that has such far-reaching goodness. So please join me in welcoming Helen McGovern-Pilant. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag before we even start this interview.
Okay.
Because you're not on the couch today as my friend. You're not on the, which you are, or the former executive director of EFN, which you are, or the queen of peanut butter, which you are.
Thank you.
You are the interim CEO at WorkForce Central. I wish I could have one of those applause buttons.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fabulous. We're going to talk with you more about this and what it means in a second.
Well, I've been there 11 days, so
Okay.
I'm very happy to introduce
this beautiful woman, Deborah Howell. You are the VP of Innovation and Strategy for WorkForce Central. Welcome, my dear. It's so good to see you.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank
We were just
you.
talking about one of your great people who I love and admire. That's Tamara Jackson, who I'm having lunch with today. I'll tell him you said hello because he's still on vacation. There we go. Let's catch up here and chat about WorkForce Central.
Sure.
You just wrapped up some goals in 2019, and this was the first year of what we call bold goals. Tell us a little bit about these bold goals and give us a recap of how you did.
Sure. So this year we set the foundation for those bold goals. So we are fortunate enough to have a great board consisting of our local elected officials and a great workforce development council. And so they declared two challenging, wonderful bold goals around making sure that we don't have disconnected youth. We have about 15,000 plus disconnected youth in our community. We want to reduce that by half by 2025. In addition to that, our second bold goal is to acknowledge that we have 38,000 adults without a GED or high school diploma. And we acknowledge that some of them are already working in middle-class jobs, may not want to talk to us quite yet, but should there be an emergency, a layoff, we want people to know that there are resources. 38,000, we want to reduce that by half by 2025. So yeah, big, audacious, bold goals. And a lot of the things that we've done around those bold goals in terms of initiatives, we have, now you just got through talking about Tamar Jackson.
Yes.
That was our first foundational thing to do. So,
been well done.
And so one of the things we want to do is become more of a continuous quality improvement organization, which means we have to assess ourselves and assess the types of delivery that we're doing out there. So it's uncomfortable, but it makes sense. And one of the things we assess is how are we doing outreach? How are we connecting to people in the right way? And are we connecting in the communities that we really should be connecting in? And I think our assessment said, no, we really aren't. We're doing a lot of status quo sort of outreach. People should come to us type of moments. And we just declared that was not good enough. It was unacceptable. And so we went looking for a different type of individual, not really necessarily from workforce development. And all of our workforce development practitioners are wonderful. They do great innovative work. But we wanted someone who knew this community, who knew all the champions in the community. Because it's not about us going into neighborhoods and saying, here are all our resources, and here's what you need, neighborhood.
Right.
It's really about asking those neighbors, those communities, about where's your gap? What do you feel like you need? And Tamar has a great voice. He does that very well on our behalf. He has part of his task is to come up with a community engagement task force, and he's done that. 75 people plus engage in that task force. They are the champions in the community. They know their business and they know their community. So we're just scratching the surface, but that was our first strategic planning foundational moment.
He if you talk about scratching the surface, that man is a successful excavator. He gets in and he knows. And because he's homegrown, he knows this city. So well done. When we talk about removing barriers, which is what I heard you say that you're working on, let's talk about you certified Pierce County Libraries as workforce connection sites. And why did you do that? And then what has the outcome been?
Well, that's fairly recent, and the reason why we did that is because we wanted to ensure access in communities where people live. And what better partner than our Pierce County Library System? They've been a terrific partner. They already have great services in those libraries. What we've done is we've attached some of our WorkSource. We have a WorkSource center. Those resources we wanted to attach to some of those library systems. We also have great affiliate sites out in our community, and so folks can go to those library systems, access those resources, have moments and days where service providers are there to assist them and answer any questions they have. And that just expands our ability to access those areas by which our data tells us are sort of light on resources in those communities.
I mean, it's a beautiful illustration of removing those barriers. Where if I can't make it downtown, but there's a library a block away, and I'm looking for a job, and I'm dependent upon public transportation. Bingo! It's right there.
Accessible.
I can walk in.
Yeah.
It's just genius. Let's talk about what are some of the goals in 2020, and then I want to talk with you, Miss Helen.
Sure. Well, I think we've set the foundation for 2019 with a lot of the initiatives, and some of the initiatives I'll talk about real quick. For example, we now have a common referral system powered by United Way. It's a great partnership, which means that customers don't have to repeat their stories over and over again. It also means that we can track, hey, I sent you to this particular service. Did you get it? We now know what that number is. We know that people are connecting. So that's a big deal, hard to do with all the multiple partners that we work, great partners that we work with. In addition to that, we implemented life coaches who work sort of hand in hand with our case managers. So this is about life. So if you've got things that are causing you anxiety, we focus on workforce development. We want to allow our case managers to keep the main thing the main thing. You're looking for a career, you're looking for a job, let's focus on that. Our life coaches allow them to focus on that because the life coaches are focused on you're having anxiety, you have some other life issues, elderly mother care, whatever that might look like for you, those life coaches can help, walk you through that process, get you those resources in that particular way. So when case managers hit you, you really can keep that main goal in mind, which is about, hey, I'm here to get a career, a job, or professional development, whatever that might look like for you. So having those two things work in tandem has been fantastic.
Wow, you are embracing, WorkForce is embracing the whole story of how did you get here to where you are, and how can we help you move beyond this?
Absolutely.
I mean, mind and soul. Helen, you have been tapped to fill in for the longtime CEO, Linda Nugent, who retired at the end of 2019. She's probably in some tropical island right now.
She's in Mexico.
Oh, that's where I'd be. Why did you decide to take on the job of interim CEO for WorkForce Central? Because you retired officially.
I did, and my prince and I did a lot of skiing.
You did?
We had a wonderful time, but Mayor Victoria and County Exec Bruce Danmeyer came to me and said, would I consider doing this? And when I stood back and looked at it, obviously when you listen to Deborah and Tamar, the staff is so passionate and so engaged, and so the ship's going forward, whether I was at the helm or not, because they are just excellent at what they do. But for me, during my time on hunger relief, I was always asked, oh, are you ending hunger? Are you ending hunger? No, that wasn't my job. EFN's job was to make sure people weren't hungry today.
Yes.
But I couldn't do anything about next week or next year. Whereas participating with WorkForce Central for me kind of closes the circle and connects the dots, because it's about helping people out of poverty. It's about helping people get to a different place in their lives where they're all doing better for themselves and their family. And so, and I grew up in Kellogg, Idaho. My dad was the janitor in my grade school. I was the first person in my family to go to college. So I've some of my lived experience just is a perfect fit.
Boy, it is. I mean, it's like, we could be talking to one of your clients right now. I mean, that's an amazing story, and I hope that you share that story more often. I've never heard that about you, and I've known you for a good 10 years now.
And then there's the political part of my life, so I have no problem calling up
county
exec or the mayor saying, thank you for putting me here. Here's what we need from you.
Thank you. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
So you are the interim, but
Correct.
let's talk about, and boy, Way to go. I mean, for asking you to do this, and thank you for saying yes.
Well, it's an honor.
What is the process for finding the next permanent CEO?
Well, that's going to be, they have difficult shoes to fill. Lyndon Wen was
Yes.
there for a total of 28 years, and the last 12 as the CEO. So the process has started. They are interviewing the search firm, I think, on January 10th. They will do a search locally, nationally, internally to find the right person. My contract is 6 months or less, or maybe 2 days more, or however long it takes. But they're starting the search right away, and I assume whomever it is will be very busy, and committed to where they are. So it's probably realistically 4 or 5 months before the person is there.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Okay.
I love how she just raised her eyebrow. Any chance of you throwing your hat in the ring permanently?
Why, thank you for asking. No. I had
because you want to go back to Mexico and be on the beach.
Well, and I love the honor of being here, but I pretty much think I had the perfect career. And just as it was time to hand off the baton here, I'm luckily carrying that baton for a short amount of time and going to be able to hand it off to somebody else.
I love that. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Certainly want both of you back on this comfy couch within 90 days, if not more. But before they get a new one, both of you back on to talk about where we are, how are those goals doing, and how are we reaching out and removing more barriers to those people who need it the most. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
And have a happy new year.
You too, Amanda. Thanks.
Absolutely. When we come back after just a little bit of musical chairs, we were talking about the library. Well, guess who's next? Marissa from Tacoma Public Library. She is such a love. You don't want to miss her. We'll be right back.